She got it all in the black burning streets like a rebel jail. My lovely lady's heart of a buffalo. Lighting it up, she don't care if she got nowhere to go. Slipping in a sliding, shucking in a dive. Revolution gonna bury my throne. Lean on your horizon, seduction throws a ride. On the crime of dinosaur bone. Hard to touch the road, almost called her name. Don't hang around much, your destination never stays the same. See the danger in her eyes, the stare is steady, deep, dark, and cold. Blowing it up, she don't care if she got nowhere to go. Lighting it up, she don't care if she got nowhere to go. Shoving in a job and slipping with a slide. Revolution gonna bury my throne. On the crime of dinosaur bones. Slipping in a slide and shucking with a jive. Out of mind to the tombstone. I have everything you need. I have all your desires. Hey! Dance me like a fool, give me all I need, yeah. With your tongue wrapped in fire. Don't stop for nothing. Ain't no telling her no. Yeah, what she wants, and she knows exactly where she can go.
We are at the halfway point for Monday Night Madness as we welcome you to Lernerville Speedway in Starburg, Pennsylvania, the home of the Silver Cup. That's the Oswegan Speedway, along with the Cool Ray Coast2Coast Racing League, brings you Monday Night Madness. 2 events for you tonight as always. We begin with our B division as the Rebels are about to take shape tonight, brought to you by Battle Beaver. And we welcome you to Icon Sim Sports pre-race show. Ready to go for qualifying, brought to you by ABR Setup Shop. Good evening, everybody. I'm Marty Sakala. We are so glad that you could join us here for live coverage. Well, we are just about set to go here for qualifying, brought to you by ABR Setup Shop. As your favorite drivers are out on the track right now, you see Joe Canellis in the number 1. And so here we go with qualifying. Great racing last week at the Kokomo Speedway. Fun racing, that was for sure. Both on the Rebels and Renegades category. Tonight we're expecting a lot of drivers to use the high side and perhaps the low line coming tail, and expect a lot of drivers to fall off the berm on the top side of the racetrack where they plateau all the way down, 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 down. Joe Canellis currently with the quick time, but Bob Evertson has other plans. He's at a 12.775 on lap number 1 in his ABR Setup Shop machine. Joe Canellis on the answer back. Can Evertson answer it back to the top of the charts? No, instead it's Sean Bowers that takes his 03 to the top at a 12.690. Bowers off for turn 4. Slower on his second lap. Drivers all finishing up their laps at the moment. Let's go to Steve Ovens at number 85. Brand new paint scheme. Talked with him about an hour ago, promoting his Land of Legends Raceway TV. Opening day taking place April 30th. Practice this Saturday. Brennan Lacey in the 414, currently second quick. Nearly fell all the way off the track. Brennan Lacey almost gets the quick time, but cannot do better on lap number 2. Tyler Wilson just wrapped up his second lap and takes it to the top. 12.630 for the driver of the 042. Under a minute to go in qualifying. Raiders winner Mike Schultz All done on his end. Here's Brandon Dittmer in the 83. Dittmer 25th quick in qualifying. We've got a car count of 28 for the Rebels here tonight at Lernerville Speedway. Dittmer, what a lap up to 5th quick, 12.734, and that should do it for qualifying. And with that, we welcome you inside our broadcast booth. We're actually not in the booth. We are up top above the booth. Marty Sakala with you on the call. We are glad you could join us. It is week number 6 of Monday Night Madness in the Cool Ray Coast-to-Coast Racing League as we take a look at everything that happens coming on in. Jesse Atkinson has the points lead up 1 despite not having a good week last week at Kokomo, up by 1 on Donovan Ross. Brendan Lacey was last week's winner in the Rebels, taking it at Kokomo. He is 4th in points coming on in, just about 13 points back. So we get set to go here for our first heats of the evening. Opening heat brought to you by Magnum Race Design. A big hello to Brian Lawson watching. Magnum Race Design offering iRacing wraps, hero cards, logos, flyers, and even t-shirt designs. If you're looking for a new design and want attention to detail, competitive pricing, and fast turnaround times, check out Magnum Race Design on Facebook, where you can contact them directly through Messenger. A couple of drivers with some Magnum Race Designs, like your pole sitter in this heat race, Dean Reynolds, Steve Ovens with a Magnum Race Design, all made by Brian Lawson. I'm actually going to get some set up on my end, too, for the dirt side of things. So check them out on Facebook. Give them a like. They're the official sponsor of the Small Blocks. Here's how the lineup looks for the first heat race of the evening. It's Dean Reynolds along with Jesse Atkinson in the front row. Row number 2 is Brandon Dittmer and Tyler Wilson. Row 3 is Mike Cranmer and Zach Neubauer. And in row 4, John Rayner and Jamie McCarron. As always, we love to show off our incredible onboards we have on the Coast-to-Coast Racing League. Jesse Atkinson is a huge supporter of carrying onboards for us. There he is in his virtual reality scheme. I love the front wing of his car. I was actually sponsored at least once before. Let's do it again. Okay, so somebody sponsor this man. I tell you, Jesse Atkinson is an incredible racer. That's for sure. So we get ready to go under the green flag. Drivers are following the Steve King Foundation pace truck. Steve King Foundation was formed to help the dirt track racing community across the country by providing financial assistance to drivers, pit crew members, racing officials, track ops personnel, or the immediate families of those individuals who suffer serious illness, injury, or death. One lap to go until we get the green flag. Top 4 will transfer into the feature. Everyone else will go down to our last chance qualifier. Winner of this heat race will start from pole position in our 25-lap feature attraction. Tyler Wilson, the driver that was the quickest in-time trial, starting 4th in this heat via the invert per coast-to-coast rules. We're ready to go. Heat 1 is green. On the outside, Jesse Exit trying to power away for the race lead. Dean Reynolds loses 2 spots on the opening lap. Goes back to 3rd. Atkinson followed by Wilson, your front 2. Wilson takes a peek underneath, decides to tuck it back in line. Behind them, looking for 3rd, it's Brandon Dittmer on Dean Reynolds. Track is fast, that's for sure. Oh, the leaders get together. Atkinson and Wilson touch Dean Reynolds to the race lead. But Atkinson tried to fight it back with a slide job. That puts Mike Cranmer up in a 3rd position. Wild racing for fourth. Jamie McCarron is up on the outside of Jesse Atkinson. The top two are currently out of a transfer spot at the moment. McCarron slides up on Mike Cranmer. McCarron falling off. Keeps it back going. Atkinson up into fourth position. Battle for the lead though halfway home in heat race number 1 between Dean Reynolds and Brandon Dittmer. Atkinson currently in a transfer spot over Jamie McCarron, the quick timer, in Tyler Wilson, still in the 6th position. How about McCarron from the rear of the field to 5th? There's a run for the lead. Brandon Dittmer on the slide job. Dean Reynolds looks to capitalize down on the bottom of the racetrack. Doesn't work though. Can the Toyota motor get another pole position? 2 to go. Dittmer coming in 11th in points as you go to the battle for 4th position. 3 wide in turn 4. Banging and banging all over. There goes Mike Cranmer. There goes Tyler Wilson. McCarron's up to 4th position at the white flag. Meanwhile, it's Brandon Dittmer that takes back-to-back poles with the Rebels. Holy smokes! Is this what we're gonna see tonight in the Rebels? What a wild start to the evening, that's for sure. Wow. So Jamie McCarron, who saw himself outside of a top 4 spot, makes his way in. We're going to go to a replay here. And we have to rewind this, by the way, because we are out of sync. Here is what happened. We're going to go from our drone shot. My goodness, McCarron sent it. Atkinson went for the slider. Cranmer just got in the rear bumper. And the wild ride for Tyler Wilson. I think that was the battle for 3rd, too, on the racetrack, and it was. And, man, McCarron just missed it. Absolute chaos in the first heat. All right. Second heat. Ready to take shape, brought to you by 2-1 Designs. Making wraps for all dirt racing needs, as well as 118 scale race control wraps. Like them on Facebook at 2-1 iRacing Designs. Here is the lineup for our second heat race of the evening. Keith Jackson and Raiders winner Mike Schultz make up the front row. Joe Canellis and Sean Bowers in row number 2. Been a while since we've talked about Sean Bowers being really fast and up in the front in the Coast2Coast Racing League for Monday Night Madness. Andy Patton and Roger Craig in row number 3, and Bob Curtis starting from 7th position. Winner of this heat race starts from the outside of row number 1, 8 laps. Let us know, by the way, who you were rooting for in chat, and we'll make sure you get a shout out live and on the air. Steve King Foundation Pace Truck is in pit road. As it's Keith Jackson and Mike Schultz that bring the field to green. Heat number 2 underway. Jackson trying to slide up down onto the inside. Mike Schultz, though, has the lead. Rockets his way through out to the front. Jackson back in 2nd. Sean Bowers is 3rd. Canellis gets by. He's up to 4th. Andy Patton didn't get a great start of everyone, but so far and clean at the moment. There's Andy Patton for 5th position on Roger Craig. That's the best battle on the racetrack in the Air Force vet. Get it over the Bass mat. He can't. They nearly tangle. Merely now for the race lead. Jackson on the send on Mike Schultz. He's got the lead back, but for how long? Mike Schultz takes his ream machine back to the inside. Can he clear up on Jackson? That got close. They nearly touch. Jackson to the point. Quickest lap in this heat, 13:08. Sean Bowers still in 3rd. Joe Canellis running in the 4th position. Drivers all even now. Back to the battle for 5th. The Bassman and Patton continue to go on it. Patton nearly lost it on the outside on the exit of turn 2. You see how much this track is starting to slicken up on the outside. Keith Jackson again continues to pour off quick laps. Just ran a 13:13 last time by. Half-second lead over Mike Schultz at the moment. And still followed by Bowers and Canellis. That looks to be on the top 4B. No, it won't. There goes Canellis. Roger Craig gets through and threads the needle. With 2 to go in heat race number 2. So I think what we have learned so far tonight is the battle for the transfer spots are going to be absolute bonkers. And so Keith Jackson off the corner wins heat race number 2, followed by Schultz, Bowers, and Craig. What on earth happened between Patton and Canellis? We take a look at the Mount Comes replay. That's Canellis in 4th. Patton just closed in on Patton and just, oh, we lost it there. I think he just tried to slide up in between both of them. Here's how it looked. Right there, and just got into Canellis, and Roger Craig is like, thank you very much. I'll take my teddy bears along with me. Anyway, we get to our 3rd heat, brought to you by Chip Bangers Racing, official team of the Coast to Coast Racing League. The lineup looks like this. Brian Moore Sr., who finished 2nd with the Raiders. On pole position, right next to him, is Bob Evertson, who has had a great season so far with the Rebels. 2 wins for him, but 5th in points after a couple of tough finishes before the drop weeks. Kyle Sargent and Brennan Lacey, last week's winner, on the outside of row 2. Then you've got Austin Marlett and Gary Taylor in row 3, Chad Cote and Steve Bixler in row number 4. Cote and Bixler, by the way, 2 of 3 drivers that start from the rear in their heat due to faults for feature incidents in the past few races. The other one that has a EOL2 in addition is Rich Holland. Got to show you, by the way, that Roger Craig and Mike Schultz, along with Brandon Dittmer, all have onboards here tonight. So give those guys some big hellos. Winner of the heat starts from 3rd position. And we're ready to go. Faster pace from Moore Sr., and Marlett wasted no time. He wanted to go instantly off the jump, and it's Bob Evertson that gets the jump. Sargent on the grass. Look at Lacey go! Holy moly! On the outside, up 3 positions. He just took all of his 900 horses to his advantage. It's going to be 800 horses to his advantage. That was insanity. Evertson now stuck back in 2nd. Kyle Sargent 3rd. Brian Moore Sr. with the final transfer spot at the moment. You watch the battle for 2nd, Evertson and Sargent, while Brennan Lacey has a 1.3 second lead in this Vanderbilt machine. Run on the inside for Sargent on Evertson. Let's see if this spot works. It doesn't. Brian Moore Sr. still with the final transfer spot as the Canadians go at it for 5th, and Chad Cote and Gary Taylor. Everton still in 2nd. Sargent trying everything he can do possible. Let's go to 4th, though. Excuse me, that's 5th. Moore Sr. still in 4th. Brennan Lacey's lead up to 2 seconds. I'll be amazed if he wins this heat. Something tells me, though, he may be using his qualifying stop. Look out behind them, Austin Marlett. Steven Bixler get together. Likely going to an LCQ. Brennan Lacey, though, sees the white flag with 1 lap to go and doesn't care to look behind him because Evertson has pretty much disappeared. Brennan Lacey, from the start of this race, jumped out of his cave like a bat out of hell. Off of turn 4, low line Lacey. This time Rockets on the high side. Takes the heat win. Top 4 stayed the same in terms of the transfer spots. And now one more heat for you, and it's our Gambler Motorsports 4th heat. Should be our final heat of the Rebels. Benjamin Couch and Donovan Ross on the front row. Row 2, Jeff Falero and Bryce Eichmeyer. Row 3, Steve Ovens and Rich Holland. Holland starting from the rear with a heat EOL. Ignore Kevin Fry. Steve Ovens, by the way, in the number 85 with the Land of Legends Raceway TV onboard camera. You can't really see it that well for our TV's perspectives. We'll pick it up shortly. Again, practice coming up this Saturday at Land of Legends Raceway, and the 30th is opening night. There he is in the 85. I want to give shout-outs to a couple of other drivers that are carrying onboards for us tonight. And give them some big hellos out there. One of them, Roger Craig. He's got the Super Dirt Week charity event promoting. By the way, don't miss out on that Tuesday through Thursday on the Coast2Coast Racing Network. Bassman with a mug root beer, you can see. Mike Schultz out there in paradise. And also Brandon Dittmer, who's in a brand new location. I think he's moved down to the basement. One to go here in before we take the green flag. Winner of this heat race starts from the outside of row 2. Once again, the top 4 transfer. Everybody else goes to the B main, where we will be taking 8. Steve King Foundation pace truck is in. His couch continues to have some netcode issues. We're green. Donovan Goss gets away with a clean start, but look at the run for Steve-O on the inside. Ovens up to a transfer spot as Flero and Ovens split the number 011 of Eichmeyer for the lead. Meanwhile, Ross leads on Couch at the start-finish line. So Flero and Ovens trying to get something going on the low groove of the track, as there is some moisture down in, but is that where the power is? Is that where the momentum is? Or is the high side going to be the place to go? Ovens inside looking for third position as both Flero and Steve-O have caught up to Couch. Oh, Ovens lost it in 3 and 4, makes a nice save, but that costs him plenty of spots. He's all the way down into last position. And that's not what the 085 Penny and Posse native wanted. Back up front, though, for the lead, it's Ross, followed by Couch. Jeff Flero is third, and Bryce Eichmeyer now in a transfer spot in 4th position. But can Ovens close in the 85? He just got by Holland for 5th. But that Jim Bean, oh, there goes Ovens. He's spun it. Ovens will have to go to the LCQ, and I think that puts him in the last position in the 4th heat race. Meanwhile, battle for the 4th position starting spot in the feature taking place between Ross and Couch. This is for the heat win at the white flag. Good battle for 4th happening as well. That's actually for 3rd. Flero and Eichmeyer thought Holland was able to pull down, but it doesn't look like he will. Ross and Couch, meanwhile, off of turn number 4. It's Donovan Ross that takes the heat win on Benjamin Couch. So heats are in the books. It's now time for the B main. Now our B main brought to you by Flatline Racing Bodies. We're about to see who makes it in. And once again, we are taking 8. So 5 drivers will be going home, and here is how they line up. Zach Neubauer and Bob Curtis on the front row. Gary Taylor and Rich Holland in row 2. John Rayner and Andy Pat in row 3. Chad Cote and Steve Ovens in row 4. Mike Ranmer and Joe Canellis in row 5. Austin Marla and Tyler Wilson in row number 6. And starting from the rear is Steven Bixler. Imagine the quick time man and Tyler Wilson in the 042. not making it into the field. That would be the craziest story of the night by far. We'll be focusing on the drivers. That's in the 8th spot when we take the green flag. And when we take the green, that's Ovens. We'll do it after lap number 1 is complete. 10 laps in this last chance qualifier. Top 8 go to the feature. Everyone else will just have to watch on their iRacing monitors and will not have an opportunity to race with the Renegades tonight. They will get at least show-up points saying thanks for coming. A couple of bonus points courtesy of Coast to Coast. Who goes in and who goes home? We're about to find out. Bob Curtis and Zach Neubauer, the front row. The bottom rows are all scattered, but we're green. Nearly 4 wide in turn 2 with 3 wide off the corner. Drivers getting loosey-goosey. Andy Patton falling out big time. Along with Canellis Bixler and Wilson. It's back up in 12th position. So it's Andy Patton currently with the final transfer spot. They're 3 by 3 in front of him though. Inside of it. It's the first one out of it. Not happy at all. Could cost him a transfer spot. Bixler has gone out of it too. Meanwhile, the battle for 8th is getting crazy. Bob Curtis has it over Austin Marler and Tyler Wilson. 3 laps are complete. Here comes Wilson looking for transfer spots on the basement of the track. Tyler Wilson, 2-for-1 discount perhaps. Yes. Oh, and to the inside he's gone. Wilson is out of it. It looks like a scene in Castaway at the moment. The quickest guy here will not race in the feature. You've got to be kidding me. But folks, it's far from over here. We got Andy Patton that just went around. Ovens is up to 8th position despite spinning out. Meanwhile, it's Zach Neubauer that has had the cleanest race in this B made by anyone. Up by a second on Gary Taylor. Everybody else is pitted. And so the guy just in front, which is Ovens, will be racing in this feature tonight. I don't know how he survived that, but we just had wrecks and wrecks all over. We'll be taking a look at what happened during the warm-up with all of Curtis, Patton, Wilson, and Bixler. And Mike Renmer, too. Actually, Mike Renmer did not make the call to grid, by the way. But we are on the final lap of this B-main. An insane B-main. A last chance qualifier to begin the evening, and it's Zach Neubauer that takes the win. He'll start from 17th position tonight. So, as we do the Schweeken Speedway warm-up watch, we're going to go through this B-main and figure out what in the world took place. First off, let's go to Steven Bixler on lap number 2. Inside and just lost it all by himself. And went for a nap there. Then we'll go to Tyler Wilson. We'll have to fast forward a couple of laps later. Oh, man. Bob Curtis lost it in turn 4, then just comes down onto Wilson. Look at the wild ride for Curtis here. Barrel rolls it. Man. Wilson took the worst ride, I think, of everybody there. And then Andy Patton. This was, I think, perhaps the big shocker, who was running inside the top 8. they lose it in turn 2? Was there contact? There was from Rayner. Rayner luckily saved it. But now we've got our warm-up watch. So we're halfway through it. By the way, we haven't seen a lot. Like, remember when we were doing Thursday Night Thunder at Lernerville when I was on the broadcast for that? We actually did a berm count. So, after all of that, it just gets crazy. By the way, let's talk Super Dirt Week while we're at it. It is beginning tomorrow here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. You don't want to miss out on that at all. Tell you a little bit more about what is coming up here tomorrow this week on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Tomorrow is qualifying night at 7 p.m. We've got 3-lap qualifying for the 358s and then 3-lap qualifying for the big blocks. And then our veterans-only qualifier with 1 transfer spot up for grabs. We've also got the heats, 358 and big blocks, each 20-lap heats. Top 6 will transfer, by the way, in all of that. By the way, this is all taking place at the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway. The next day, we have our 2 last chance showdowns with the top 3 transferring from both small and big blocks. And then our 10-lap pole shuffle where we will figure out the top 6 qualifiers in each side of things and who will start where. Features Thursday night at 7 p.m. is the 358s. That's 75 laps. The big blocks at 8 p.m. That's 100 laps. It's all brought to you by Coast2Coast Racing League as well as the Super Dirt Car Series. This is all in honor for Chris Yacklin and Veterans Admission 22. I'd like to thank all our sponsors as well for providing it, such as Flatline Racing Bodies, Cool Ray, Maurer Farm Management, Land of Legends Raceway TV, and a whole lot more. You can check more on that on C2CRL.com. All right, first feature about to go down here at Lernerville Speedway for Monday Night Madness. Technically the second one. First one we've got here on the broadcast this evening. 25 laps, 24 drivers, 1 winner. Let's meet the field in the Super Dirt Car Series starting lineup. On the front row is Brandon Dittmer, back-to-back poles in the 83. Next to him, Keith Jackson in the 01. Row 2, Brendan Lacey, last week's winner in the 414, and Donovan Ross in the 5. Row 3, Dean Reynolds in the 790, and Mike Schultz, the Raiders winner, in the 016. Row 4, Bob Everton in the 008, and Benjamin Couch in the 16. Row 5, Jesse Eckes in the 127, and Sean Bowers in the 03. Row 6, Kyle Sargent in the 91, and Jeff Flero in the 200. Row number 7, you'll find Jamie McCarron in the 211, Roger Craig in the 747. Row 8, Brian Moore in the 558, Bryce Eichmeyer in the 011. Row 9 is Zach Neubauer in the 52, and Gary Taylor in the 34. Row 10, Rich Holland in the 116, and Chad Cote in the 11. Row 11, John Rayner in the 302, Joe Canellis in the 1, and on the last row for tonight's feature, Austin Marlett in the 999, and Steve Ovens in the 85. One lap to go until we take the green flag. And these are your onboards this evening. Look at Steve-O giving the wave in white. As we're set to do battle here at Lernerville Speedway for 25 laps. Who's it going to be? How's it going to be done? We're about to find out. The start brought to you by Dylan Westbrook Racing. It's Brandon Dittmer and Keith Jackson on the front row. We're green at Lernerville. 4 wide in turn 2 already at the start. We've got calamity already with Kyle Sargent on his side. Zach Neubauer around. That's John Rayner involved in the 302. Crazy stuff happening early. We'll redo the start, except the drivers that were involved in the caution, they'll go to the rear. Here's what happened with Sargent. Got rear-ended from a car. I can't recall who that was. And Sargent goes up on his side. We tell you, by the way, Brennan Lacey in the pits. Let's show you what happened after the yellow flag flew. One of the favorites to win inside of Dittmer. They neck coated together. Unbelievable. So who everybody thought was going to be the favorite to win this race is blown wide open. Luckily for Brandon Dittmer, he stayed straight, so he keeps his first position. And luckily for him, this is a single file restart at the moment. Here's a look at what it's like to be Brandon Dittmer right now. I can tell you he's got a good sigh of relief from his body at the moment. This is looking from the rear end. So ready for our Land of Legends Raceway TV restart. It's Brandon Dittmer, Keith Jackson, Donovan Ross, Dean Reynolds, and Mike Schultz. That's the top 5. Bob Evertson, Benjamin Couch, Jesse Atkinson, Sean Bowers, Jeff Flero, 6 through 10. We're ready to go back to green. It's up to Dittmer to fire it. Here we go. And immediately Dittmer goes to the quickest groove around the track on the low side, but that may cost him. Keith Jackson up to him. They're side by side into turn number 3 and 4. Dittmer just trying to find some slick stuff. We got trouble already. It's Flero and McCarron. Nope, excuse me, no caution. Still under the green flag. Battle is on, though, for the race lead. Keith Jackson takes it away from Brandon Dittmer into turn number 3, but for how long? Can he clear Dittmer at the start-finish line? Yes, new leader for the first time today. It's Keith Jackson at the point. Jamie McCarron, by the way, in pit road. Again, no yellow flag. We stay under the green flag. You've got Donovan Ross running in 3rd, Bob Evertson in 4th, Dean Reynolds battling with Mike Schultz for P5. Let's ride on board with the driver of the 016 and Schultz. Driving it like Lernerville is paradise. Got a battle on the inside with Benjamin Couch along with Sean Bowers, 3 wide in turn number 2 in some incredible racing at the moment. Dean Reynolds liking what's behind him. He's in 5th position, but he's trying to close in. This is the battle for 3rd meanwhile. Bob Evertson on the low line. Donovan Ross up top. We're under caution. Austin Marla and Chad Cote have gone off the track in 4. Our 2nd yellow of the evening. Here's what happened. These are drivers that were in the B main. And let's see if this happened in front. Nope, Marla just went off the track all by himself. And then where does Cote play a factor in this? Let's see here. Cote was, I think he was completely in front of all this mayhem. He was the first one to go off track before Marla. And then I think when he tried to get it back going, did he get on his side? Oh, he hit the pace truck. Number 1, you don't want to do that. Nope. So with that, we were under caution. You see Keith Jackson actually had his quickest lap of the race before the yellow flag came out. Again, top 10 drivers are eligible to transfer, proving that their IL is under 200. And as we take a look at this at the moment, Keith Jackson obviously will be eligible tonight. Same with Brandon Dittmer if he can do good. Bob Evertson just hanging by a thread to try and make it at the transfer side of things. Donovan Ross would not be eligible. Dean Reynolds would be eligible at the moment. Mike Schultz wouldn't be eligible. Jesse Atkinson, gotta get it clean, have a clean race today, that's for sure. Sean Bowers hanging by a thread as well, along with Benjamin Couch is over as well, and Brian Moore Sr. is also over. Back to green, Land of Legends TV restart. Jackson gets going. Not a good restart for Brandon Dittmer. Loses second to Bob Everson. Going to need a caution if he wants to stay in second spot. Oh, they may come right here. We got one off track, and that was Ross. Donovan Ross in the 5 goes into the golf course in 3 and 4, as Steve Ovens likes to say. And our third yellow of the evening is out. Here's the replay and show you what happened. Ross was in the 4th position. Was looking at a great race on the fast groove, and yeah, that right rear just went over, affected the center of gravity. So that yellow definitely did help Brandon Dittmer for sure. It's Mike Schultz. Let's get Dittmer up here. Now, if you're Dittmer, do you want to run the high side on this restart to just follow along with Keith Jackson, or do you take some risks to try and make a run down on the bottom? We'll have to see what happens. Pace car truck is in turn number 2, so we're waiting to go back to green. I think what Jackson is doing is just trying to go at an earlier point, so that way it's a good restart before he crosses the start-finish line. That's the big point. If it's green after you cross the line, you could get black flagged for it. We're back to green. That's a good restart. Dittmer back on the outside, gets it going. Actually went the low side. Jackson got it going in the race lead. Everson still in 3rd, Reynolds 4th, Mike Schultz in 5th. He's looking for 4th on Dino. He's got the advantage on the exit. Can he take the 4th spot away from the 790? Great racing at the moment here at Lernerville Speedway. On board with Mike Schultz. This is from the rear end. You can see how close he is to going off the track. Near contact with Atkinson in the 127. Speaking of Atkinson, that's his onboard right there. This is a fun race. 4 cars under a blanket in the battle for 4th position. Schultz has the advantage. Cross flags up this time by Atkinson. Meanwhile, tries to dive in the corner. We were 4 wide in turn 4. What a move by Sean Bowers. He's looking for 4th position. Does he have the low line dialed in? Oh, wait, yellow is out, though. Sean Bowers is going to be bummed on that because now he'll have to go back to where he was in the previous lap. I believe he was past Reynolds, but no way on earth he was past Atkinson or Schultz. Here's what happened to Kelch. Got to give it up for him. He was having a good day.
Roger, you need your extra suit there, brother?
That was Kelch, by the way. Don't know what that audio was. But anyway. So cross flags are up. We are halfway in the books. We can tell you, by the way, that 2 drivers are out of the race. Jamie McCarron is one of them, along with Austin Marlett. They were the only 2 drivers that have parked it. Actually, 3 drivers, now we think of it. Benjamin Kelch is also out of this race. Renegades, by the way, coming up at 9 p.m. here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Here we go for the restart. Keith Jackson, Brandon Dittmer, Bob Evertson, Mike Schultz, Jesse Atkinson, the top 5. Sean Bowers, Dean Reynolds, Brian Moore, Roger Craig, Gary Taylor, 6 through 10. We're back to green. And again, Brandon Dittmer taking it on the bottom. Could open the door here for Bob Evertson. And nope, we're back to yellow. And it was Sean Bowers. Sean Bowers, I believe, won a round in 2. And I think it also collected Joe Canellis. That's in the aftermath. But a tough break for Bowers, who now has to go to the rear. He had a very fast car. As you take a look at the Malcolm's replay, he was blanking a lot on that restart. I don't know if there was some netcode contact or what. Oh, Reynolds just got into him. That's a tough break. And that is huge on all sides around because, again, you were thinking about the 200 IL in addition to the top 10 if you want to try and race with the Renegades tonight. Now, this is the aftermath of Canellis. Roger Craig just gets into Canellis. And whee! Almost got on his side there for a moment. So, we will try that once again. As Bowers gets placed all the way back in what we believe is now 17th, and it is. There you see Jesse Atkinson, the 127 in 5th position. Nice race for him so far. By the way, speaking of Roger Craig, you got to give it up for him. This is a great race for him so far. In 8th position. He's been dodging a lot of these wrecks, even though he was technically involved in the last wreck, but he did keep it straight, most importantly, in that situation. Land of Legends TV restart. Jackson, Dittmer, and Evertson currently on the podium as we're back to green. Jackson fires. He nearly got on the grass. That was a close call. Jackson runs the middle. Dittmer on the bottom. Dittmer almost got up to the door of Keith Jackson in the battle for the race lead. But now here comes Evertson. Can he go around the outside? Evertson up to P2. And now Mike Schultz just trying to be a factor. Wants to get on the bottom step of the podium. But look at Jesse Atkinson around the outside as well. Can he get by Mike Schultz? Just hugging that cushion. Trying to make sure he doesn't go off track. 9 laps to go. Oh boy. Caught that thick berm in turn 1, nearly went bye-bye. Just enough room to get by Mike Schultz around the outside. Hang on, we got a caution. Gary Taylor has offed it in turn 1. And so Atkinson falls back. The other position just caught Brennan Lacey and the captain, along with Sargent, get involved. Oh, more contact. That was extremely strange from Gary Taylor. So, we'll have 8 laps to go when we come back to the green flag. And this is far from over. Bob Evertson, by the way, now restarts in the 2nd position. This is a huge restart for him at the moment. I think he's matching the pace of Keith Jackson at the moment, and they kind of are definitely for sure. Evertson, by the way, the only guy with 2 wins this season. Jackson wants to be up there with his 2nd win. They both come in, Evertson and Jackson, 5th and 6th respectively in the standings. A lot of big front runners in there that could still win this. Jesse Atkinson's in 5th position. Mike Schultz is in 4th. This race is far from over, in my opinion. I think Jackson still has a couple of opponents behind him that could not lead a lot of laps here. Jackson's got the most laps led. He's clinched that. Back to green, though. Evertson, a bad exit, though, in turn 2. Nearly took it off the track. And that allows Jackson to put up a half-second lead Here comes Mike Schultz, though, around the outside. Third at the line for Mike Schultz. Big run for one of the members of the Penn Yan posse. On board with Schultz. Off of 4, can he get it to stick? Still in P3, has it over Dittmer. Dittmer almost lost it in turn number 2. He's in big trouble. There you see Dittmer just trying to find something on the low line, but he's fallen all the way back to 5th position. Jesse Atkinson, meanwhile, has taken his car up to 4th and nearly loses it. And we're under caution once again. This time it's for Zach Neubauer and Steve Ovens. Neubauer has towed it into the pits. This may have been a solo car accident, actually. I'm not too sure. But we'll know right here. Neubauer running just outside of the top 5 and was having a great showing too. Inside, and Roger Craig just got in now. And there you saw Ovens, who I think did get a part of the action, and he did spun out. Let's show you what it looked like from Steve-O's perspective. As he was riding behind Roger Craig, there you see the contact lets off. Hasn't missed, and there was some slight contact there. Goes off of the racetrack on the, nearly got into that plateau. And spun it. So 4 laps to go when we take the green flag. And so you've got Mike Schultz up in the 3rd position. Schultz could have a chance as we get back into the Land of Legends Raceway TV restart. Will Keith Jackson be able to hold on and lead all 25? About to find out. 4 laps to go. Bad restart from Atkinson, who I think caught the grass there and nearly biked it on the exit. But we're back to caution once again. And we've got Ovens and Ross. I don't know what to say about this. We've got one on top of the other. They're like bunk beds at the moment. Ovens is trying to back his car up. He's trying to be like a monster truck and get over him. This is a little bit interesting. Ross, meanwhile, I think that is Ross. That is. He's stuck up on his side. Somebody told somebody, for Pete's sakes. There we go. Now Ovens, there he goes, gets back down on all 4s, and he'll still be in the race, luckily. Here's what happened coming back to the green flag. Ross just got into him and turned him. And then I think they were stuck together. They were stuck together. We saw that a couple of nights ago at the Bristol Dirt in the truck race. It was Austin Wayne Self. And I can't recall who the other car was that got hooked. And legit stuck together, but it was like the funniest thing I had seen all week in the race. So that takes 1 lap off, and this time it's a 3 to go shootout. Jackson again trying to hold off Everton and Schultz. Don't forget, Renegades feature coming up next as we're back to green. Jackson, a nice restart over Everton, opens up the gap as Everton and Schultz battle for P2. Atkinson, though, all over the Schultz heating and cooling machine for P3. 2 laps to go. Popsicles are up. Schultz trying to look to the inside on Everton for the highest spot today. But Atkinson tries to challenge. Off for 4, 1 to go here at Lernerville Speedway for Keith Jackson. Is he going to get win number 2? He's half a lap away from doing that. Fast car, started from the pole. He's led all 25 laps, gets the checkers. Keith Jackson wins at Lernerville, second win of the season. It is Bob Evertson and Mike Schultz that round out the top 3. So Evertson, Schultz will join Keith Jackson up on the podium at Lernerville. So we'll have a brief conversation with the top 3. But outside of Keith Jackson, the battle for second and third, that was a lot of fun to watch. So we'll try and gather these guys all up in here. And we're waiting for Everson, but while we are at it, let's bring in our third place finisher, who is Mike Schultz. And we're going to pop up the onboard here because Mike Schultz is looking like he's in paradise celebrating a third place finish. Mike, how fun was that battle for third?
That was insane. I really got to thank Jesse. He really ran me clean there. And there was a few times where I seen he had a pretty good run on the outside, and I was trying to give him room. He's a hell of a good guy, and I can't thank the Penny and Posse guys enough. Man, we did a lot of talking through that one and got to win the last one and in the Raiders. And man, this is a heck of a night for us.
Absolutely. Taking a look here, just to confirm, it's going to be close on the IL situation, but if you are under 200, best of luck to you in this feature tonight, but great job in the Rebels run.
I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
That's Mike Schultz finishing in the third position. Still waiting for Bob Everson to get on in here. But while we are at it, we're just going to go right into Cool Ray Victory Lane and talk with your race winner. Second win of the season with the Rebels. That is Keith Jackson. Keith, congratulations. Walk us through how you were able to hold off Bob Everton in those final laps, as well as Brandon Dittmer, and lead all 25 tonight.
Just keep the car going straight more than anything. It got really slick, and I figured once it got that slick, if I could just keep from stepping on it, I'd be just fine. I'd just wait for somebody to show me a nose there.
Was this, from your perspective, a one groove track tonight?
Yeah, I think it was. It got pretty blown out in warm-ups there, and it was going to be whoever could get out there first and just pretty much pace around is what I expected it to be.
How big is this for you as well in the standings? You came in 6th in the points. You got 2 wins. Pending the drops, when that happens, your only worst finish is 24th, but after that, you've got finishes inside the top 3. But I know you only have one less start, so you only have 1 drop. So just talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, just been real consistent, staying out of trouble, and been qualifying halfway decent, been putting us in good spots in our heats, and just clicking off laps.
What are you expecting from the Renegades tonight?
Probably the same here. I think it'll probably get burnt out, and it'll probably end up being 1 lane. It's just Lernerville. It's fun. The warm up, when it seemed like when the warm up first took off, the track was perfect, and it just went downhill a little. Too many cars on the track there, but I think it'll end up probably just being kind of through the middle, up to the top, probably later on as well.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to on your run?
Devo, Jack, Brian. I think he had a really good run this evening, so good for him. And you guys putting this thing on, give us something to do here on Monday nights. Appreciate you.
Congratulations on the win, Keith. Good luck.
Thanks, buddy.
Keith Jackson takes home the win and celebrates it in Cool Ray Victory Lane. Here are the official race results from tonight. as Jackson takes home the win on Everson and Schultz. Atkinson 4th, Dittmer 5th, Dean Reynolds 6th, Chad Cote 7th. How about Roger Craig? 8th place run, Sean Bowers. Rich Holland, a top 10 finish. Just realizing that. Good run for him. And then here are your bottom 4. Those drivers, many of them did not finish the race. So, we'll pause here. We will go to break. Renegade time when we come back on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Stay with us.
Battle for the race lead off turn 4. White flag in the air. Justin Hare's top shelf where Mama hides the cookies. Can he get the lead? Yes, he does. And now here comes Janzik. Janzik goes by Query, and he goes by Inman. Gonna drag race off of turn 4. Shepard is there, but it's Larry White at the line. It's still gonna be Pat Ward, and they make contact. Britton has broken the race car. Peter Britton comes to a stoppage.
leader in our industry.
The lifetime parts and labor warranty is pretty awesome. Basically, all the parts are covered, the labor and everything.
When we say lifetime, we mean lifetime, and it's supported with money-back guarantees. And with that, you're getting all qualified technicians that are going to ensure that this job is done perfectly and operates perfectly throughout the life of the unit.
Learn more about our Coolray lifetime parts and labor warranty at Coolray.com. Coolray and Carrier. Turn to the experts.
We welcome you back to live coverage of the Coast to Coast Racing Network as we get set to go for the Renegades, brought to you by Dylan Westbrook Racing. Marty Sakala with you on the call, and we are just getting set to go here for ABR Setup Shop qualifying. Don't forget, friends, to tune in throughout the rest of the week as we've got live Super Dirt Week coverage from Tuesday through Thursday. It all begins at 7 p.m. every single night right here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. I'll be on the call Thursday night for Thursday Night Thunder. So we're not for Thursday Night Thunder, but for the feature event. So don't miss out on that. A big shout out to the Coast to Coast Racing Network, Cool Ray, along with Dean Reynolds and Andy Piercefield and Preston Kramer for really putting on this show. Same with Roger Craig. Can't forget about you, Bassman. So anyway, qualifying ready to take place, brought to you by our friends at ABR Setup Shop. And first driver to take to the track, that is Brandon Templeton in car number 31. Templeton in the Icon Sim Sports machine. Comes on into the weekend 6th in point standings with a top 5 and 3 top 10s. Just about 80 points back on Ross Corinna. Everyone wanting that high side. Want to get as close as you can. If you go too far, you're off the track and won't get a lap time in. It'll be way off the pace. Templeton starts things off with a 12.73. Aiden Young, who's been very fast in recent weeks, goes off. Last time he won in Monday Night Madness in the Renegades was at this track at Lernerville Speedway as Templeton goes to the top. 12.699 for Brandon Templeton. Here is the Professor John Hine, who stays in third quick at a 12.711. Sean Bowers, nice job moving on up into the top 10, but we got more lap times coming in. Blake Chapman goes quickest, 12.651. Patrick Spangler was also second quick, went up on the board, 12.68. They can't improve, off by 0.2 of a second, last time by. Nathan Aldrich working on his second lap. He goes sixth quick in the 5:14 with a 12.744. Aldrich looks to be a slower lap for him this time at a 12.87. Randy Shreves in the ABR 56 for the LGR Racing team. Ninth quick, and that'll do it for his lap. Points to Ross Corinna. Clocks in 6th at a 12.731, working on lap number 2. Slower on lap 2 for Ross the Boss. Mike Schultz in the 016 just came off that third place finish. Clocks in 21st quickest. Kevin Fry also, meanwhile, 16th quick. Preston Cranmer goes 8th quick, 12.747. 30 seconds to go in qualifying. Let's see if the Outlaw can improve here on lap number 2. Could be close. And he's 100th quick to go up to 8th. 12.744 ties with Aldrich. Kyle Moonen improving on lap number 2, goes 2nd quick at a 12.67. John Short, I don't know if he's going to get a lap time in. And he won't. Oh, he just barely, I think. Are they going to count it? He did. 10th quick, luckily. John Short beats the clock out, or else he'd be taking an EOL. So, but anyway, after all of that, Blake Chapman the quickest with a 12.651 in ABR Setup Shop qualifying. So the first heat brought to you by Magnum Race Design, and here is the lineup. Randy Shreves and Nathan Aldrich on the front row. Aiden Young, Blake Chapman in row 2. Chad Cote and G.J. Boydell in row 3. Nick Schell starting from 7th position. No penalties, by the way. No EOLs coming at all. Whether it be the heats or the feature. Drivers rolling off again, continuing to follow the Steve King Foundation pace truck. Steve King Foundation pace truck was formed to help the dirt track racing community across the country by providing financial assistance to drivers, pit crew members, racing officials, track ops personnel, or the immediate families of those individuals who suffer serious illness, injury, or death. Of the drivers, by the way, that qualified, we had a car count of near 24. I think we are over that tonight. Guess we could check and find out right now. So we do have a car count of just about 28 drivers here, so we will have DNFs, or DNQs. Winner of this heat, though, as the top 4 transfer starts from pole position. Heat number 1, Shreves and Aldrich, the front row. Green lights are on. Off of turn number 2, top 4, looking like a pace lap here at the moment. Randy Shreves gets out with the advantage, but Aldrich has the banking as Aldrich leads lap number 1. Contact between Chapman and Young. That got oh so close for Young to flip it. He's off the track in 2, and Aiden Young will have to go to the last chance qualifier. 4th place battle. G.J. Boydell has it over Nick Schell for the lead meanwhile. Aldrich still with over Shreves. Cote goes off the track in turn 2. Hello, last chance qualifier for him. So it's Aldrich followed by Shreves, Blake Chapman, all nose to tail. And then there's Boydell in 4th position. This would be a big surprise to not see him in the B main and make it in the feature directly from the heats. Shreves, though, all over the 5:14 of Aldrich. Blake Chapman, though, is in 3rd, who had the quickest time with the Can-Am Racing Team, number 20. Can-Am Racing Team along with the Crichton Sim Racing car. Nearly going off the track. How bad do you want pole position? Do we see Shreves or Chapman perhaps go for the slide job on the final lap? We'll have to see. 2 to go in our first heat race. Randy Shreves took a chance at it, lost a little bit of time to Nathan Aldrich. They all continue to hug the high side on the racetrack. Final lap underway. Who's starting on pole position tonight? Will it be Aldrich? Will it be Shreves or will it be Chapman? We're about to find out. Chapman goes for the side. Shreves goes for the side. Could be 3 wide off of turn 4. Aldrich comes out with pole position. They all went for the chance. Aldrich goes for the right line. And Nathan Aldrich wins the first heat. He is on pole position. And for the driver of the 5:14, who has not had the best year so far, 18th in points coming in, one less start than everyone else, gets his best start of the year, his second best start, now a 7th at Fairbury. Second heat race is brought to you by 2-1 Designs. And here's how they line up. Jack Clevenger and John Short on the front row. Then it's John Hine and Kyle Moonen in row number 2. Mike Schultz and Nick Vickery on row 3. Barry Goldner starting from position number 7 tonight. Of course, we've got the Mike Schultz onboard camera here for you, the in-car camera, I should say. Again, in Paradise, but starting in row number 3. Been a while, by the way, since we've called out the name Nick Vickery. There he is in the Spartan Racing 00. In fact, just going through my stats here, this is Vickery's looking to make his first start of the year. Conflicts have had to deal that he's had to deal with that are higher commitments than this, definitely understandable, but he's back and looking to allow him to reintroduce himself. Winner of this heat starts on the outside of the front row next to Nathan Aldrich. Top 4 transfer, bottom 2 go to the last chance qualifier. Steve King Foundation pace truck is in. You got Jack and John on the front row. Where's Jill when you need her? We're green. Clevenger immediately with a deep send on John Short. Allows him to get a gap on the 51. But here comes Shorty down to the inside on the send. Goes for the slider. He's got it. Short leads lap 1. Clevenger, though, trying to cross it over. Drives it in deep. Goes for the slide job. It's slide job city at Lernerville at the moment. Clevenger has it off at 2. Short, can he get it off for 4 this time? They got Vickery stuck up in the way. Here comes Moonen. Short leads once again. 3 wide for the race lead. Look at Moonen. 2 for 1 discount. Oh no, too much of a send. He goes off the track. And that may cost him a spot big time. He's all the way back in 5th. Tell you, by the way, Vickery, by the way, did crash, and Barry Goldner currently in with the final transfer spot, up 3 seconds at the moment. So John Short, who somehow does not have a win yet this season after the incredible year he had, after the incredible season he had back in the winter parts of the year, leads at this heat, looking to start in the front row, coming to 2 to go. Meanwhile, that is John Hine who has gone off the track. The professor, by the way, for those wondering, by the way, why he's not with me in the booth, he's got a couple of sick kids that he's got to deal with, and in case someone's having some bigger issues, he's got to go tend to that, so that may be the case when we talked earlier. Final lap, though, underway. Checkers are out. John Short takes heat 2. So John Short will start on the outside of row 1. Third heat race brought to you by Chip Bangers Racing. Here is how the drivers line up. Joe Backus and Sean Bowers are on the front row. In row 2, Ross Carina and Patrick Spangler. Jeff Barker and Jeff Kemper are on row 3, and then Steven Fernberg starts from 7th. Winner of this heat race starts from the inside of row number 2. Let us know, by the way, who you were rooting for. Hello to Gary Spangler, a part of the Lernerville safety crew. May actually get real cars on the track this week. Fingers crossed, Gary. That's for sure. It's tough up here in New York. It's 36 degrees and cloudy at the moment. Patrick Spangler, by the way, who was in chat earlier, said about the Rebels, the magic of the invert for Wilson. Now you see him, now you don't. VSZ420 says I stepped on it. Understandable. Ready for the green flag. Backus comes out with the early lead, but again, watch the high side closely. Sean Bowers could get a run, but this is the first time we've seen someone use the low side and actually come out with the lead. Joe Backus has it, but he gets the wall, though, and stacks up the top 4 altogether. Ross Corena, though, takes advantage. He goes to the front, and Backus is falling. Backus. Fernberg and Bowers, meanwhile, have gone around. And so Jeff Kemper in the 181 with the final transfer spot by about 4 seconds. Ross Corena with the lead. Patrick Spangler is in second. Jeff Barker runs third. Spangler trying to close in on the 010. Nice run on the exit, turn 4 for Spangler. Close in on Ross Corena on board with the man out of Pennsylvania. Somebody wants to, oh man, what a crossover move from Spangler. He wants to start on the inside of row 2. Puts the slider up by Ross Corena, the 39 to the point. He started from position 4 in this heat, which tells you that he was the fastest in time trials of all the drivers in this heat. 3rd quickest overall. White is out, 1 lap to go. There you see Kemper, still with the final transfer spot. Backus back there in 5th, but won't catch him. Spangler off at turn 4, wins heat race number 3. Fourth heat race brought to you by Gambler Motorsports. Here is how they line up. The Bobs on the front row. Bob DeGood and Bob Everton. Then in row 2, Preston Cranmer and Brandon Templeton. Row 3, Kevin Fry and Terry Landis. Preston Cranmer, want to give a shout out to the Outlaw as your defending Rebels champion. Is carrying an onboard force. He's got the virtual reality headset on him. I think that's an HTC Vive, I think. A lot of the drivers have those. He's getting ready to go as we are waiting for Everton to get in. There he is. There's the call. Don't forget, while we are at it, next week, excuse me, this week I should say, starting tomorrow, Super Dirt Week. All the action every night from Tuesday to Thursday, beginning at 7 p.m. on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Down the back straightaway. Final heat. Top 4 transfer. Winner of this heat starts on the outside of row 2. Here we go. Everson should get away with the jump. Bobby Good trying to come up. Oh, way loose in turn 2. Gets Cranmer. And 3 of them up on their sides. There's Cranmer as Landis flips it. He keeps it going. Kevin Fry also involved. And somehow in all of this, Preston Cranmer is lucky. He's got the final transfer spot. And we've got a good battle for second. You could even say the lead. Bobby Good around the outside of Brandon Templeton. Takes his ABR machine up to P2. It's ABR 1 and 2. Then you got Icon in third. DeGood always has a tough time in the center of the corners here. No matter what track you go to. Templeton looks to take it to the inside. Can't make the pass stick just yet. Bad exit for DeGood allows Templeton to come on up to Bob Everson. It's BE, then BT, then BD. Oh, Templeton just clipped the wall with the right front, but guess what? He's got the lead for now. Gonna have to slide Everson here. He does. Brandon Templeton to the point. I don't think anyone expected Templeton to have a fast car in this heat, that's for sure. Everson stuck in second. Final lap underway. What Templeton's doing, he's using that little hump up in turn 1, right next to the wall, to give him a little bit more of a burst of speed entering the corner, and that just proved the point right there. Templeton wins the heat. Everson to good transfer, followed by Preston Cranmer. So B-Main brought to you by Flatline Racing Bodies. 16 drivers are already in. We take the top 8. Bottom 3 go home. Here's the lineup. GJ Boydell and Kyle Moonen on the front row. Joe Backus and Terry Landis in row 2. Aiden Young and Nick Vickery, row number 3. Sean Bowers and Kevin Fry on row 4. Chad Cote and John Hine in row 5. Steven Fernberg rounds out the field starting in 11th. As all the drivers roll off of pit road. Top 8 transfer. We will be watching the driver in 8th position starting on lap number 2. The B-Main, the last chance showdown, I should say, was absolutely crazy in the Rebels. Perhaps we could see it in the Renegades. We're about to find out, though. White is out 1 lap to the green flag. Driver starting in the 8th position is Kevin Fry in the number 21. Steve King Foundation pace truck is in. It's GJ Boydell and Kyle Moonen that will bring the field to the green. And off of corner number 2, Boydell comes away with the advantage, but Moonen pulls up, had the better burst of speed on the exit of turn number 2. And at the line, it's Kyle Moonen. 8th position currently belongs to Sean Bowers. It is a hot battle for 8th spot at the moment. Nearly 3 wide in turn 2. Kevin Fry back in 8th. Here comes John Hine. The professor wants to get in the feature and start from the rear of the field, nearly touching. It was Hine at the line, barely over Fry. Fry still with the advantage off of turn 2, holding on to that spot over John Hine. If calamity happens in front, expect the drivers to move up. Again, only 3 go home. It's John Hine, Steven Fernberg, and Chad Cote in the hole at the moment, in the danger zone. Fry still trying to find a way to pull away. He's got a 0.3 of a second lead up on John Hine. Aiden Young falling back a couple of spots at the moment in 6th position. Now up to 5th, trying to get by Backus. Now John Hine's got to run around the outside. It works out. Fry's attempt on the low line didn't really work out well. It could be 3 wide for 8th. Fernberg doesn't take big advantage just yet, and the professor is up to the final transfer spot. Now if you're Kevin Fry, you're hoping that happens. John Hine goes off track. The professor is out of it. And now the battle for 8th is on. Steven Fernberg trying to take advantage of it in 1 and 2. And the 29 is up to 8th. John Hine is out of it. The driver that came in 11th in the standings will not be racing tonight. And the driver 10th in the standings is under big pressure. Fry with a big send. White flag is out. Who's in? Is it Fernberg or Fry? Fry goes up the higher side. Fernberg plays defensive. Does Fernberg go to the low side once again? He does. Fry tries to send it. Fernberg makes it in. Kevin Fry is eliminated. Kyle Moonen in all of that takes the B main. As we get set to go here for our warm-up watch, brought to you by the Ohsweken Speedway. And folks, we have got a little bit of a change here. Filling in for John Hine is actually going to be Steve Ovens here in the booth with me. Steve-O, I'm looking forward to this, man. This is going to be a lot of fun. We saw a lot out of what we saw in the preliminary action for the Renegades. What are we expecting for the feature tonight?
I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure, Marty, and I'll tell you why, and that's because I think the track has progressed way more. I was just talking with Mike Schultz, who is getting ready to run the A main here, and we were noticing that the way the track was in the A main for the Rebels, the track was already like that in the heat race for these guys here in the Renegades. So, you know, I think guys that have transferred up to run with the Renegades here are kind of searching their notebook because the track is way different now than it was earlier, and it's giving guys challenges that are in the Renegades division. How many guys did you just rattle off in the top 10, top 11 in points that are not racing the main tonight? There's some shockers there.
Yeah, John Hine and Kevin Fry we mentioned there that are not in this 30-lap feature. No, we saw a lot of exciting racing in the heats. I think specifically the Brandon Templeton, Bob Everton show we saw. I don't think a lot of us expected that to happen. So we could see a bunch of lead changes tonight compared to what we saw in the Rebels, where the only leader was Keith Jackson in that race. Speaking of Templeton, by the way, here, Steve, he's the quickest in warm-ups at a 13.907. Starts from the outside of row 2. And from what we have learned so far throughout the night, you want to be on that outside line.
Well, and it's interesting because Templeton, your fast car here, he's doing just exactly the opposite. I've been watching the last 4 or 5 laps here, and he's been running right about the bottom. Now, is he just trying to see what the car will give him down there? Now he goes back to the top side. So, you know, it's he's going to be one to watch here in that Icon Sim Sports car.
Could be Patrick Spangler as well, who had a really fast car to win his heat. Shout out to the Lernerville safety crew for watching tonight at one of his home tracks, so he could have perhaps the home track advantage. But of course, Blake Chapman had the quick time in qualifying. Absolutely will be a threat tonight, third quickest. But a very surprised pole sitter in Nathan Aldrich in the 514. Not been a great season, but we look forward to seeing what he does in this race. Warm-ups are now in the books. And ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Cool Ray, the Coast to Coast Racing League, Osh Weekend Speedway, and all the fine drivers and sponsors, we thank you for choosing to spend your Monday night with us. It's now time to meet the field of 24, ready to take battle for 30 laps at Lernerville Speedway. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the Super Dirt Car Series starting lineup. On the front row, a pair of 51s. Nathan Aldrich in the 514 and John Short in the 51, who finished runner-up in the championship last season. Row number 2, Patrick Spangler in the 39 and Brandon Templeton in the 31. Randy Shreves in the 56 and Jack Clevenger in the 78. That is the third row. In row 4, points leader Ross Corina and Bob Everson in the 008. Row 5, Blake Chapman in the 20, Mike Schultz in the 016, and in row 6, Jeff Barker in the 513, and Bob DeGood in the 7 with one of his best starting spots of the year. Steve-O, give us the second half of the grid.
Second half of the grid here, starting 13th in row number 7 is going to be Nicholas Schell and Barry Goldner. Jeffrey Kemper and Preston Cranmer, the Aylett Outlaws, go 16th here tonight. Kyle Moonen and Nicholas Vickery are top 2 out of the B main tonight. They will make up row number 9. Row 10 tonight is going to be Terry Landis, the old Yoo-Hoo Express, alongside Greg Boydell in the Oshweekend Speedway 14 ride. Joe Backus, Sean Bowers will make up row 11. And your final row tonight, guys making it just in from the B main. Aiden Young in the 69, Stephen Ferdberg in the 29.
Lights are off the Steve King Foundation pace truck. 1 lap to go until we get the Dylan Westbrook Racing green flag. 2 onboards, by the way, we're providing you tonight. Preston Cranmer as well as Mike Schultz. We'll check on them briefly throughout the race. The pace truck is in. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now, than the Lernerville Speedway? From coast to coast, we're about to do battle. Aldrich and Short, the front row. It's showtime at Lernerville. And it's Nathan Aldrich that comes up with the jump off of turn 2. John Short gets a burst of speed on the exit. We're 3 wide for the race lead. Patrick Spangler goes for the 2-for-1 discount. And the 39 takes lap number 1, Steve.
Yes, he does. He put on a great move. As they're 3 and 4 wide behind him here, going into 3.
Bob
these guys, look at these guys fanning out like we're at Pocono.
Absolutely. Bob DeGood, by the way, went off the track. No caution. We stay under the green flag. Trouble. That's Short on the 51. Up on inside. Contact from Chapman. And Short gets it going. And we're under the first yellow of the evening. A front runner that was a contender to win. Now in jeopardy. Let's take a look at the Malcolm's replay, Steve, and see what happened to the 51.
Short and Aldrich get together there on the bottom of turn 1, and that kind of looked like they just one came up, one came down, and unfortunately for Short, Marty, he's got heavy damage on the rear end of that car.
Absolutely, may need to go for a quick repair. This is Jack Clevenger's on board, who was also involved in the demolition derby there. So you take a look, nowhere to go. He was committed on the outside, and Short was just on his way. And he goes down the plateau, up and over. Looks like some damage on the front suspension of the car, but other than that, doesn't look really too much. I think he'll take it to the pits, and he is in pit road for a quick repair. By the way, while we were at it, Bob DeGood did go off the track in turn number 1. There was no caution. We stayed under the green flag. Nick Vickery also went off the track too, but not on the racing surface, so action stayed under the green flag. Lights are off, 1 lap to go. We get set for the Land of Legends Raceway TV restart. First episode for them this season, April 30th for the season opener. Don't miss out on the full card. Reset the field, Patrick Spangler, the leader, Nathan Aldrich second, Randy Shreves third, Ross Corinna fourth, Brandon Templeton rounds out the top 5. Spangler fires, we're back to green.
What a restart there for Spangler. My goodness. He took 5-6 car lengths into turn 1.
Nearly wrecking Templeton off the track. Can he save it? Barely hang on, he does. But outside of the top 15, there was contact amongst the front runners. And how about Randy Shreves and Nathan Aldrich? The bottom steps of the podium, Steve-O. This is an impressive start for them.
Absolutely, but this track is going to continue to change as we've got him wrecking here, Marty, off turn 4.
And the big one breaking out here, that is Barker in the 513. And I think Shell and Preston Cranmer also are part of it in our second yellow in this feature. Here's what happened off of 4. Watching Barker here, was there contact from Shell? And there was. And Kramer has nowhere to go.
And unfortunately for Cranmer there, Preston thought he had it missed. And for a second he did until he didn't. Oh man, that was close.
We're looking in car with the Outlaw. Oh, just barely. Just nipped it on the front wing. But it shouldn't be really too much.
I can't tell you, Marty, how many...
Yeah, go ahead.
I can't tell you how many times I've had that happen where, essentially there's 2 wrecks in one. You think you've got the first one cleared, and you do, and you kind of feel that, oh, okay, I'm good. And then all of a sudden, last second, here it is, right in front of you, nowhere to go.
So Patrick Spangler in the 39, who was actually a contender for the championship in the Renegades last spring, out in front. He's had a great start to the year, 4 top 5s and 4 top 10s. Worst finish was a 22nd at Fairbury, but other than that, he's got 3 runner-up finishes on the year. He would love to get that first win of the season as he's ready to restart in the Land of Legends Raceway TV zone.
I'll tell you, Marty, a guy I'm keeping my eye on right now is a guy that transferred out of the Rebels race, and that's Sean Bowers. He's picked off 8 cars in 6 laps here so far, up to 14th.
Absolutely. Bowers with a fast car. He was even really fast when we had the Rebels time trials, but a couple of spins had put him in the rear of the field, and he was even inside the top 5 in the Rebels feature at one point, and then was involved in a wreck. So Spangler ready to get back to the green flag. Has not won in the Renegades since 2021. As we are green once again. Another great jump for the 39. And we got cars changing. Oh, we're wrecking him big time. Schultz is involved. Oh, man. Cleanup in aisle 2. Everson, Schultz, Corinna, Boydell. Oh, boy. We'll redo the restart and take a lap off.
And I think you're going to see that on restarts as the race goes on here, Marty, because, guys on the restart, just because you were running the high line before that yellow doesn't necessarily mean that's the line you're going to run when we get back at it. And these guys are full speed just about when they get to 1 and 2. And all of a sudden, guys are trying to figure out, am I going to go high, am I going to go low, am I going to try to make a move on the guy in front of me? The track's a little slick, and I hadn't been running there. It's these restarts, I don't care what division you run in, these restarts are crazy right off the bat.
If you watched closely on that restart, there was some contact between Everton and Corinna that sent the 008 really off his line in the corner, and it was just way too deep and just sent it into the points leader. So not at all what they wanted For sure. And now we're talking drivers that were in the B main up in the front of the field because they're dodging all these bullets. You got Kyle Moonen, who is now up into the fifth position on the track. Preston Cranmer is running in 6th. How about Barry Goldner? You don't talk about this guy at the front a lot in the Renegades. He is running in P7.
Absolutely. What a run for him here so far. And Kyle Moonen, you kind of expect a guy like that to make a charge through the field. Getting ready for the restart here. I mean, we still got 23 laps to go.
I think these are the most cautions we've had at the start of a race in the Renegades in a while. Sean Bauer's biggest mover of the race, up 13 from 22nd to 9th. We're back to green, and Spangler fires them once again. Watch out for Blake Chapman and Kyle Moonen closely. They were on the high side while Shreves and Aldrich rocked it on the bottom. Let's see, Aldrich trying to play defense. Moonen's got a run off for 4 on Blake Chapman. They're door-to-door entering 1, Steve.
Yes, they are. Good battle here for position as Moonen trying to make it happen here. Working in the middle lane, and Marty, this is something we saw in the Rebels race. There's a certain point in the feature where the middle lane gives just enough grip to be able to try to make moves just like that.
And we saw that a lot with Mike Schultz along with Jesse Atkinson using that middle line throughout the feature. And there you see Moonen almost make the pass stick on Aldrich for 3rd position. And you saw as well entering turn 1, Steve. Oh, hang on, Cranmer off the track. Hello, Plateau. No caution. We stay under the green. I don't know how he kept that straight.
I don't know how he kept it out of the river boats down on the back straightaway. What a great piece of driving. But talking about a great piece of driving, Marty, here comes Kyle Moonen.
Up to 2nd, and he is hungry for that lead on Patrick Spangler, the driver of the 24. Not off to a great start this season. 16th in points. 2 top 5s and 2 top 10s. He is angry like Alexander Rossi in the Indy 500. What's the lead? Slide job city on Patrick Spangler. New leader in the 24. Spangler with a crossover in turn 3. He wants it back badly. It was
Moonen takes it at the line there. Spangler tried the crossover here, but he lost a little grip coming off of 4. He does it again off of 2. Great battle here, Marty, for the lead.
Kyle Moonen has the lead at the cross flags. 15 down, 15 to go. From 17th up to the race lead. He won the B main. Now he's looking to win the A main tonight. Spangler back in 2nd. Randy Shreves is 3rd. And they've got a big gap on Blake Chapman and Nathan Aldrich, who continue to throw down for 4th position. Shreves, meanwhile, takes a look to the inside on Spangler for the runner-up spot, and that doesn't work. Meanwhile, in the middle of the pack, caution's out, and it's Brandon Templeton in the 31. What a shame.
Yeah, Templeton clears off of the racetrack here. He was so good in the warm-up session tonight, turning some quick laps, and let's see what happened here.
Barry Goldner just got loose off of turn 2 and came down into Templeton. The 31 did not expect it, and as a result, takes a nap on his side. I was about to mention how mid-pack there are a lot of changes for position in real time. I think this was the reason why. You watch on board with the Icon Factory driver.
And it seemed like such simple contact there, Marty, but it was just enough to, kind of throw the weight of the car, and the next thing you know, you're on your side. And that's got to, I can speak from experience. That is so frustrating because you're like, man, if I just spin out, I can turn around and keep going. But, man, what a tough break because it flopped right over.
So getting ready for our Land of Legends Raceway TV restart zone. Steve King Foundation pace truck is in the pits. Moonen for the first time today gets to fire. He's the control car back to green. We've got 13 to go. Spangler challenging early on the inside, but he washes up the track. And Moonen holding serve, using the high side in 3 and 4. Spangler now facing the big pressure of Randy Shrees for that runner-up spot. If Shrees gets a podium spot, I believe it would be his best finish of the season by far, no question.
And you know, Marty, I'll get another yellow flag here.
Preston
But
Cranmer.
other than Kyle Moonen, I think the fastest car on the track right now might be Aiden Young. He's clawed his way from 23rd. He took the 6th spot right before that yellow flag.
And remember, the last time that Aiden Young did win in Monday Night Madness with the Renegades was right here at Lernerville last year. Here's the replay with Preston Cranmer involved in his 2nd accident tonight. And we're hearing this may have started in front with G.J. Boydell. Oh, man. He caught the grass like it was Knoxville and just got loose, and Cranmer with absolutely nowhere to go. It's been a very tough year for Cranmer, coming off of the Rebels Championship and moving up to the A Division for the full season. 13th in points, had a great run last week to put him 5 spots above. Only 2 top 10s, though, to the season.
And Marty, for the 2nd time tonight, that same thing happened. When Boydell started to spin, I thought that Preston was going to clear him, and then it just looked like Boydell didn't spin down to the infield as quick as he thought it was going to.
So we'll have 11 laps to go when we come back to the green flag. You mentioned, by the way, Aiden Young running in 6th position. He started in 23rd spot. You've got a lot of drivers that climbed their way all the way up from the B main, wanting to win a feature. Moonen is one of them. Won the last chance showdown, and now brings them back in the Land of Legends Raceway TV restart zone. Does Spangler have anything for Moonen once again? We're about to find out. Matches on the restart. Spangler banks it, but catches the grass, and around goes the 39 almost. Wow, what a save from Spangler. But that cost him a ton of time all the way back to 10th, Steve.
And Marty, who was the big benefactor of that one? Aiden Young in the 69. He's up battling here for 3rd with Aldrich.
To the inside, big run on the exit of turn 2 for Aiden Young, up to the bottom step of the podium. Not yet. Just by about a bumper for Aiden Young. And you got to remember, too, for the 69, how did he win at Lernerville last year? A last lap pass on the inside. Took a page out of Brennan Lacey's playbook. Could he be a factor to win? Up to 3rd, closing in on Shreves for the runner-up spot.
Closing in on Shreves here for sure, but I think he's going to have the assistance of that yellow hanky here to try to even have a shot at Moonen, because Moonen, even as the track has just gone dark slick here, Marty, Moonen has just gone and maintaining a lead.
6 laps to go this time by. Great battle for 4th position. The Krite Sim Racing 20 of Blake Chapman takes the spot. Now here comes Sean Bowers in the 03 after what's been a rough day. And look who else is up here. Allow him to reintroduce himself. His name is Nick Vickery. First start of the season with the Renegades, and he's up to 6th.
Look at Stickers go. Oh, and he's going to try to slice. Oh, I thought he was going to try and slice through the middle there.
Looking for 2 for 1 in 1 lap. Not going to work, though. Bowers still with control for 5th spot. 4 laps to go, Steve.
Yeah, 4 to go, and Marty, we got a battle for 2nd shaping up here. Shreves is struggling the longer the race goes on, and he's opened up the door for Aiden Young.
He slammed it, though, off at turn 4. Young had to let off the throttle, but Young has a great exit off at turn 2. They're side by side in 3 and 4. Oh, that's just about tight off the corner. And it was Shreves for 2nd at the line. The popsicle's up 2 to go. Shreves goes for the slide job. Doesn't work. Aiden Young is up to 2nd. We got one off track, by the way. It's Sean Bowers. White flag, though, is out. 1 to go for the 24 of Kyle Moonen. It's been a rough start for the ABR Setup Shop number 24 Velocity Race Design team. 2 top 5s and 2 top 10s this season. Wins the B main, wins the feature. Kyle Moonen from 17th to the victory. What a performance by the top 2 though, Steve.
Absolutely. Aiden Young plus 21. Are you kidding me? In 30 laps. That is incredible. And give a call to Randy Shreves. I think he was struggling a little bit at the end, but he found a way to dig deep and hold on for the podium.
Got to give big congratulations to Shreves, that for sure. Second top 5 of the season and his best finish on the year. Trying to check the last time he was on the podium in this series. You got to go way back. That's for sure. But how about this top 3? What a race. Tough break for Aiden Young. If a yellow came out, we would have had a good battle for the win. But let's start by talking with your top 3. Randy Shreves is already in. Randy, first off, congratulations. Your best finish of the season. How were you able to stay consistent for the entire race, staying inside the top 5?
Yeah, just pretty much just being patient, you know, watching where the line was going, and yeah, that track was just really slick, so just mainly, you know, finding a good line and just being patient was the key to that one.
If we had a yellow...
Just
yeah,
didn't
go
have
ahead.
enough, I just didn't have enough for Kyle or Aiden there at the end. They just went flying by me on the top.
If we saw a yellow flag come out, did you think you had anything for the top 2, or not really? Were you just holding on to third at that point?
You know, maybe if there were a yellow and then I could have got up to the top. I was just kind of stuck down there on the bottom. I knew Aiden was coming, and you know, I just didn't know where he was at. I didn't want to take us both out there in the last few laps. Yeah, I probably should have tried to get up there a little quicker, but yeah, I was pretty consistent running the bottom. I felt good down there. Just didn't have enough down there.
Tell me about the sponsors. Who else you want to thank tonight?
For sure, definitely want to thank my team, LGR Motorsports, Alex Bergerana, ABR Setup Shop, Coulter West at Redline Race Designs, One Wish Foundation, Wraps and Stitches, KSB Builders, Finish Line Repair, CD Cinematography, Coast to Coast for always putting on these awesome league races, and you for the broadcast, Marty, and everybody for watching.
Congratulations on a great run tonight, Randy.
Thanks, Marty.
Randy Shreves with a third place finish. And how about the run for Aiden Young? Almost getting a win at the track that he last won a race at. Steve, I'll let you take this interview with Aiden.
Aiden Young, I know it's not a win tonight, but anytime you can go 23rd to 2nd here with the Renegades, that's about as close to a win as you're going to get.
Yeah, I'll take it, that's for sure.
Now, early on, you know, we had quite a few yellows early on, and it seemed like for you picking your way through traffic, those early yellows really came at good times for you.
Yeah, they did. I was just trying to be smart coming up through the field.
What was your biggest challenge tonight, trying to pick your way 21 spots up through the pack?
Yeah, not running into trouble. There was a lot of it that I could have got into, but I kept my head smooth and came out up front.
Late in the race, you and Randy Shreves had a great battle. You guys were so close coming off of turn 4. I don't think you could have fit a cream puff between you guys. Tell me about that race.
Yeah, that was just a good race, and I was just hoping Netcode wasn't going to get us.
Yeah, for sure. What other than trying to benefit from another yellow or something of that sort, what more did you need for the 24 Moonen tonight?
Yeah, I think I just might have needed a yellow there at the end.
Very good, man. Well, I'll tell you, you had us entertained, and all the folks watching here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network all night. Tell us about all the folks that helped make it happen.
I just want to thank Cool Ray and Andy. Hope he gets better. He had surgery today, so hopefully he gets better. And obviously Young Run Creations and the League for Let Me Race, and you guys for broadcasting.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, an entertaining race is always good for healing. So shout out to Andy. Hope you get better soon, man. And great job to you, Aiden.
Thank you.
Second place.
All right, that's Aiden Young coming home in the second spot, Marty, and we'll send it to victory lane to you.
Absolutely. Coolray Victory Lane with your race winner, Kyle Moonen. 2 races he wins tonight, wins the B main and wins the feature. Kyle, it's been a rough start to the season, but that's got to feel good and has to be worth it after that start you had to the year.
Yeah, it is good. I did have a rough start. Just wasn't running very good. Computer wasn't running very good. Even when it was running good, I wasn't. So it got everything going pretty good again. So it's definitely nice.
Talk about how you were able to make that pass on Patrick Spangler for the race lead, and did you expect to have a really fast car and make that run from 17th up to the win?
Honestly, very last second, I've been running a lot of the same stuff lately, and right at the last second, I went back to something older, didn't run anything in the warm up. I didn't feel very good with what I had, so I changed it up, and now I'm glad I did. I definitely got, kind of lucky there with a few people wrecking, going off, doing that, but once I got up to 4th and we got some laps in, I definitely knew I had a good car and a car to beat them. I was just trying to keep it out of the field.
I'm curious, did you think that Aiden Young perhaps had something for you if we had a yellow come out in the final laps of that race? Because he was closing in fast.
Was it? Yeah, I was kind of keeping an eye, on my relatives, seeing how far he was behind me, and honestly, you never know when there's a caution the last couple laps. Sometimes it's good to be in second at that point, and sometimes it's good to be the leader just because you control the start, and as long as you get a good jump and hit your marks, you're in pretty good shape. But it's one of them you never know.
Well, next week for Monday Night Madness, we go to one of the most unique tracks on the iRacing calendar, and that is Williams Grove Speedway. Just give us your expectations for that race.
Oh, I really don't know what to expect there. I've had about just as many good races as bad, so it's kind of a flip of the coin for me. Typically, if you're really good on the bottom there, that's definitely a good thing. So maybe we'll try a little bit of that this week and see where we end up.
Well, congrats on a great run. Who do you want to give shout-outs to on your performance?
Just everyone at Bandy Built, Jesse for helping quite a bit tonight. Velocity Race Designs, Ross Corinna does all of our paints. He does a great job. Alex at ABR Setup Shop, you guys for the broadcast, and everyone for the league.
Well, enjoy this one, man. Congratulations. Go celebrate this one. You deserve it.
All right, will do. Appreciate it, Marty. Thanks.
Kyle Moonen takes home the win, and once again, Kyle Moonen celebrating in Coolray Victory Lane. Coolray's goal is to make sure that race tradition of 100% customer satisfaction lives on today. Coolray is proud of their reputation of providing excellent service to homeowners and businesses in Georgia. Their mission is to continue to build long-lasting relationships with their customers through their winning spirit and commitment to 100% satisfaction guaranteed. As we take a look at the official results from tonight's Renegades feature, once again, Moonen and Young all the way from the B main putting on just an astonishing performance. Moonen, though, gets the win by 2 seconds tonight. How about it, though, for Randy Shreve's best finish of the year? And you got to hand it to Steve to Nathan Aldrich. He started on pole and was able to manage a top 10 finish tonight, too.
Oh, absolutely. To come home with a top 10 in the Renegades is nothing to sneeze at. And, a 9th place effort for Nathan tonight is not truly the story of how his race went tonight.
Absolutely. Vickery in his return, a 5th place finish. John Short, after spinning early in this race, rebounding to a 10th place finish. That's not bad in a day's work for the driver of the 51. but we all know he wanted that win. As we take a look at the rest of the field from 21st to 24th. Bob Evertson, tough break for him. I believe one of the drivers that did go off track, Brandon Templeton, another fast driver we had to watch out for too, who had that big send on a restart and just fell all the way back, or excuse me, was also involved in one of the wrecks as well, and finishes in 21st position. So I know Kyle talked a lot about Williams Grove next week, but we got a big event coming up, Steve. Super Dirt Week at the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway. The charity event of the season for the Coast to Coast Racing League that is benefiting veterans, Mission 22, and also Chris Yaklin. I'm very excited for this. It's mostly just because it's Super Dirt Week. You and I are from New York, and we know what Super Dirt Week means to race fans in the state.
Absolutely, and I think this is the perfect blend of, capturing that juice that is Super Dirt Week up here in the Northeast, as well as going to a great cause with Mission 22. You're pairing two really, really great things together here to see some guys come out and have a good time, and I love it, man. It's one of my favorite weeks of the year. Let's get dirty, man.
Absolutely. So, all the broadcasts Tuesday through Thursday starting at 7 p.m. We've got qualifying in the heats Tuesday night, the pole shuffle and the LCQs on Wednesday night, and then the feature Thursday night. 358, 75 laps. The big blocks go at it for 100. So that will do it for us here tonight on behalf of Cool Ray, the Coast to Coast Racing League, and all the fine drivers and partners from Roger Craig to Preston Cranmer. On behalf of my broadcast partner for the Renegades feature, Stephen Ovens, Marty Sakala, signing off for tonight. Your winners in Monday Night Madness, Mike Schultz, Keith Jackson, and Kyle Moonen. So long, everyone.